joining us now, Curtis Ellis, Senior Policy Advisor with America First Policies. Curtis Ellis, great to have you with us.
Great to be here with you, John. Great program today. Listening to Congressman Whitman. Wonderful interview. Smart guy. He definitely has to be on the President's Economic Recovery Task Force.
I agree with you. I'm going to suggest that to the White House because I think he's kind of figured this out. Like, you know, there's got to be a model for reopening up business. And Curtis,
we need to start showing that model, that program. I hate to use the word model because models have been discredited.
Right.
But there's got to be a plan. And when he talks about how the suppliers, you can't just open the door to the store if the back door hasn't been opened receiving stuff, you know? You got to be taking deliveries through the back door before you can sell stuff through the front door to customers.
Well, let's say, perfect example, you're a seafood restaurant. All of the seafood producers have gone dark now, right, because they can't sell their fish and the fish goes bad. So you're a seafood restaurant, you open on Monday, but you don't have any fish.
Right. You're going to have to open on Tuesday because you're going to have to get the delivery from the fish on Monday or you know, Tuesday morning.
Right.
So usually it comes the same day. That's why in the old days, maybe not even that old days, but there was that advice not to order fish in a restaurant on Sunday.
That's right. I do remember that. That's right. Never ordered on Sunday. Curtis, a couple of things. Another 6.5 million people unemployed, filing for unemployment. We think that by the end of April, this is going to be over 30 million. One of the anchors on MSNBC yesterday was cheerleading the 16 million, saying, see, that means that social distancing and staying at home is working. These are 60 million people that should be at home. So this means they're following the rules. This is a great thing.
Easy for that anchor to say they should be home, and of course they have now set up cameras in their homes. A lot of them are at home. They're still getting paid, so it's easy for them to talk about this. That's just shocking. When this is all over, right now the infallible models that we dare not question at risk of being considered mass murderers. The models tell us that there's going to be 61,000 deaths this year from coronavirus, which is exactly the number of people who died of flu in the 2017-2018 year.
Right.
So did we shut down the economy then? Did we more than shut down the economy? Let's be absolutely clear here, as you have been, John. Did we trash our way of life? Did we set our hair on fire, then cut our head off, and set the rest of our bodies on fire, and absolutely abandoned our way of life, our freedoms, freedom of association, freedom to make choices, freedom to buy and sell, to go outside, basically to surrender. Did we surrender our most personal information to the authorities? Did we give police the right to arrest us for driving in our car alone, for walking to the beach? It's just amazing. Did we do that? No, we didn't. So it's just it's incredible what we have, what's happened here, and the ease with which it's happened, the unquestioning obedience to authority in the face of fear of the unknown. It's mind-boggling.
Curtis, I don't understand the level of agreement with Americans right now for the complete trashing of all civil liberties. The culminating thing being New Mexico is now going to track your cell phone to be sure you're 6 feet apart from people. How they're going to do this, I'm not sure. But this is like grandson of Patriot Act. I talked about this earlier. You've got Maryland, Larry Hogan, who is now becoming a political animal, wants to run for president in 2024, so he's going to outdo everybody. So he's got lockdown there. He's got checkpoints going on. You can't drive to Maryland. You can get stopped by a Maryland official, officer of the law, for any reason, don't have to have a tail light out, Curtis, don't have to be crossing lane, don't have to have an expired tag. You can simply be stopped, and they can ask you where you're going and why. And if they don't like the reason, you're handcuffed or given a fine. This is incredible, and Americans are just standing around saying, okay, no problem. Why?
Yeah, why? It seems like this is the culmination of a years-long, decades-long project to remake the American mentality and remake American society. And I absolutely believe now, I woke up in the middle of the night and it became clear to me that the left in this country, which now has a grip on the media, has a grip on the Democratic Party, has a grip on academia, the education system, they are using this, they hope to use it, and in many cases it's not a conscious thing, but it sure fits their preconceived notions. They're using this opportunity, this health crisis, this unknown health crisis, to reshape society to their liking, to their goal, where we are all dependent on government. We take our orders from government. We do what the government says because our existence, our subsistence, depends on government largesse. That's why it's good that 6 million people get unemployment. It's good that they stay home and wait for their box, their ration of food, and their pittance of spending money. That's a good thing. That's great because that fits the model of society they have always strived for. They have to destroy the free market economy in order to create the socialist paradise that they have long dreamed of. Yesterday, in his press briefing, Governor Cuomo, the heartthrob of the left, the most who presides over the most corrupt government in America, the New York State government, the heartthrob of America, of left America, Governor Cuomo said, before we can start talking about reopening the economy, we have to repair the damage that has been done. Well, the damage, and then he went on to talk about all of the millions on unemployment. Excuse me, Mr. Governor, the damage you're talking about was caused by shutting down the economy. It's circular reasoning here. We can't reopen the economy until we fix the damage that's been caused by closing the economy. It's insane. Now, this guy's not an idiot. He's not a moron. How could he be so blind? Well, we're all blind to our own prejudices. He has reached the point where he wants to be. He has reached the conclusion that he has wanted to reach in the first place. Mm-hmm. Shut down the economy, make people dependent on the unemployment, on government largesse, rebuild an economy that is based on the socialist principles where government is at the center of everything. That's and then he was asked about the models or the projections. When can we do this? La, la, la. And he said, the models, we're going to wait. We will. When will we reopen? And he said, we'll leave that up to the experts. Excuse me, these experts have discredited themselves. They have proved incapable of predicting tomorrow's weather. Actually, I'll take that back. They've shown they can't predict today's weather. I mean, the IMHE model could not even accurately describe what was going on in New York the day their model said. I mean, it was off by a third. It couldn't even. So we're now going to rely on these experts to tell us when to reopen the economy. This is the height of folly. This
Curtis,
is just
what you're outlining here, and I want everybody that's tuning me in right now, I'm going to get a little deeper to what Curtis is saying because you have nailed it, right? what Curtis is saying is that the Democrats and the left in America don't want the economy to reopen, right? They don't
No.
want it to reopen. They want to find reason after reason to keep it shut down because, as Curtis says, the only way that they can create their socialist paradise is through government lockdown. You go to the government for everything. They're all powerful and omnipotent. And in order to do that, they have to completely destroy Trump's free market economy and the jobs it created, right?
Exactly right. Exactly right. And small business is a huge part of this economy, and it's also Trump's base. Yeah, it's not what the media has said that Trump's base is a bunch of illiterate, toothless,
No, it's small business.
Deliverance hillbillies. No, it's small business people. Mm-hmm. You and I met them. We know them. Everybody out there knows what's going on here. So when the Democrats hold up any kind of relief for small businesses, they know exactly what they're doing. Walmart's hiring people. These giant corporations are hiring people. The giant retailers, they're hiring. They're doing just fine. They'd like to see this shutdown continue as well.
Sure.
This is great for them.
Right. Amazon, sure.
And those giant businesses, they fall right in line with the social justice warriors' demands. Whether it's they contribute to the good causes the left tells them to. They have the diversity managers, commissars, and hire according to quotas as the left asks them to. They don't sell guns. They don't sell ammunition. Whatever's on the list, whatever comes up next, they say yes, sir. The banks won't process. The credit card companies won't process sales for this. The giant social media companies won't allow you to say that. The big companies work hand in glove with the left. It's the small businesses that are unreliable, politically unreliable, and must be eliminated. But and then Cuomo, so he said, we're going to let these experts do all this, decide when to reopen the economy, and they're. But he admitted, and he said these very words: the projections were all wrong.
Right. The
projections are all wrong. And then he went further and he said, no one knows what's happening. No one knows what's going on. No one knows. What's the virus? Ask any particular question about the virus. And he says, no one knows. So now we get to a philosophical question. In the face of the unknown,
right,
where do we place our faith? How do we move forward? How do we move forward when we don't know? Look, I know when the bus is going to come, so I go outside 2 minutes before and I get the bus. I know I have a reasonable degree of faith that when I turn the key in my car, it's going to start and I'll be able to get, and I know how long it's going to take me to get from point A to point B, so I leave on time. But there's things that are unknown, and what do we do? And here we face great unknowns, a great unknown. We don't know how many people are going to die or who's going to die if I'm going to get infected. How do we face the unknown? We have been taught to place our faith in experts, and this is a terrible mistake. We can use the experts, and the experts can't admit they don't know. That's the fallacy here, is these experts can never admit they're wrong, and they can never admit they don't know, because if they don't know, they're not an expert anymore.
Bingo.
So it's the blind leading the blind, but they're deliberately blind. And that's why, in this Holy Week and Passover, we have to remember that we were taught the purpose, the great enlightenment or the great revelation of faith is we place our faith in the unknown. We don't run from it.
It's insane.
We have to place our faith in the unknown, and the unknown is what God is. It's the unknowable. He is the unknowable.
Well, here's what we do know. We do know that 16 million people filed for unemployment.
That's
we
right.
do know that already 3 million businesses have said they're shuttered, shattered, and can't reopen. We already know how many small businesses have applied for PPP. It's in the millions. We already know how much wages are going to be. loss. We already know that we took on another, what is it, 5, 8, $10 trillion in debt, whatever the number is. I mean, these are the things we know. We already know domestic violence is up, suicides are up in various states over the last 2 weeks. We know that the purchase of alcohol is up across the country by 35%. You think that's not going to have an effect down the road, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
all this stuff we know. We know all this, right? There's no mystery here. There's no maybes and there's no models. There's hard data. And that data has to be taken into consideration.
Right. So we're supposed to ignore all that hard data and place our faith and place our trust in these projections, these computer models.
They'll never want to
that
open
don't
it
work.
up.
That are completely unreliable. We're told to ignore our eyes, ignore what we know, and go with some left-leaning experts' computer simulation of reality.
And what is the objective, right? The objective...
Destroy the economy, destroy Trump, destroy America.
Exactly.
China will win if we go down this path.
If you buy into their objective, which is why you and I railed from the beginning against any of these shutdowns, and especially the Bannon national lockdown, which is insanity beyond belief, because Steve Bannon or anybody could never answer the question, at what is the metric to reopen the economy and stop the lockdown? They never had one. And here's the problem. Like you take Maryland or North Carolina or Virginia, nobody can answer me, what number are you going to see where people can go back to work and we can go play baseball again? What number? There is no number. They'll never give you a number, Curtis, because their objective is to keep it locked down, destroy Trump's economy, destroy the free market, destroy your way of life, get all their surveillance in place, do all the things government has to do in order to create their vision, as you laid out, of some sort of a whacked socialist paradise. That's what they're trying to create. That's why you're never going to get Cuomo to say, hey, let's all get back to work tomorrow.
Because they can't admit they were wrong either. Cuomo, the politicians, are never going to say, well, I made a mistake. It's not 200,000 dead. It's not 2 million dead. It looks like maybe 15,000. And so, sorry, everybody, we got it wrong. I was a fool for believing.
No, he's not going to say that.
He's never going to say that.
No,
and just like none of these pundits on TV ever say that. They never say they're wrong.
I tell you what, if you don't read the articles put out by Curtis Ellis and John Fredericks, once in a while we do a dual article. I put it up on our website. We put it on Trump Nation News. It is absolutely fantastic. When Curtis and I get together, it's like it's just a magical thing that happens. It's so fantastic. But I got to go, Curtis. I got to roll.